Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, as we are about to commence this afternoon's proceedings, I ask that you take your places in readiness for the grand installation ceremony. Please take this opportunity to note of the exits on my left and to turn your mobile phones to silent or switch off. Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, on behalf of the Most Worshipful Brother, Robert John Parsons, Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Freemasons of South Australia and the Northern Territory, and Right Worshipful Brother Stephen Eugene Paul Michaelak, welcome to the grand installation ceremony. Most Worshipful Brother Parsons has had the privilege of leading Freemasons for the last 3 years, and today will install his successor in a ceremony that dates back to the 1750s, when the chairing of the Master was first practiced. The Grand Master-elect will take up the leadership of Freemasonry at a time of increasing relevance of Freemasonry to today's society, which will provide the opportunity for all Freemasons to practice those timeless principles upon which our craft is founded. The Grand Master-elect initially will not be present. He will only be called for when all is in place for his installation. Once installed, he will invest the Grand Lodge officers that will undertake the ceremonial and administrative work of Grand Lodge. You will be able to follow the ceremony in the booklets provided, and we ask that you join in the singing of the odes, for which you will be asked to stand. In the meantime, the Grand Organist, Brother Glenn Lewis, will deliver a short prelude prior to the Grand Director of Ceremonies, the Very Worshipful Brother Brenton Hand, who will enter the auditorium and take control of the grand installation ceremony.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, please be upstanding during the entry of the Most Worshipful Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Ancient, Free and Accepted Masons of South Australia and the Northern Territory, Most Worshipful Brother Robert John Parsons, and officers of Grand Lodge. Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, please remain standing for the Song of Australia. Most Worshipful Grand Master, on behalf of all those assembled, your guests and your brethren, I acknowledge your presence and your rank as the leader of our fraternity. Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, please be seated and remain seated during the ceremony of calling on.
Right Worshipful Grand Wardens, please be upstanding. Right Worshipful Brother Junior Grand Warden, what time is it?
Past high time, Worshipful Grand Master.
Your duty?
Call the brethren from refreshment to leave.
I'll thank you to declare it.
Brethren, it is the Most Worshipful Grand Master's command that you cease refreshment and return to labour for the further dispatch of Masonic business.
Straight into the welcome.
Right Worshipful Grand Wardens, please be seated. Distinguished guests, ladies, gentlemen and brethren, I give you all a collective welcome to our installation ceremony and thank you for your attendance, and I hope that you will enjoy the ceremony. I also would like to welcome Monsignor Robert Aitken, past Vicar General of the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Adelaide. Welcome to you. And to most illustrious Brother Andrew Charlton, 33rd degree, who is the Regional Commander for South Australia and the Northern Territory of the Ancient and Accepted Scottish Rite. Welcome, Andrew, and I hope you have an enjoyable time. Very Worshipful Brother Grand Director of Ceremonies. We are now ready to receive our distinguished guests.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, now entering this Grand Lodge, on my right is the Grand Lodge of Marked Master Masons of South Australia and the Northern Territory, and on my left the Supreme Grand Chapter of Royal Arch Masons of South Australia and the Northern Territory.
Right there. Right. Most Worshipful Grand Master, I present to you Most Worshipful Brother John Henry William Carter, Most Worshipful Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Marked Master Masons of South Australia and the Northern Territory. He is accompanied by Right Worshipful Brother David Kitching, Deputy Grand Master, Right Worshipful Brother Nicholas Ludwig Wysotsky, Senior Grand Warden, and Right Worshipful Brother Thomas Bodel Adams, Junior Grand Warden, and a retinue of Grand Mark officers.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to welcome you to this installation ceremony, and I'm delighted, as you would be, I'm sure, with the number in your delegation. Thank you very much for your support, and I hope you enjoy yourself.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, thank you very much for those comments, and we are all pleased to accept your invitation to be here today.
Thank you.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, I present to you Most Excellent Companion Russell Stewart Sheldrick, Most Excellent First Grand Principal of the Supreme Grand Chapter of Royal Arch Masons of South Australia and the Northern Territory, Most Excellent Companion Leslie Leonard Obst, past Second Grand Principal, and Most Excellent Companion Adrian Pearce, Third Grand Principal, and a retinue of Supreme Grand Chapter officers.
Most Excellent First Grand Principal, what a pleasure to welcome you and your Grand Principals, our own South Australian chapter, attending our craft grand installation. I thank you very much for your support and your attendance, and I trust that you will all have an enjoyable stay with us.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, we're delighted to be here, and we wish you well for the ceremony today.
Thank you.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, Now entering this Grand Lodge on my right is the Grand Lodge of Ancient Free and Accepted Masons of Denmark, and on my left, the representative of the Grand Lodge of Scotland.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, I present to you Most Worshipful Brother Peter Larsen, Most Worshipful Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Ancient Free and Accepted Masons of Denmark. He is accompanied by Right Worshipful Brother Oliborg, Assistant Grand Master, and a retinue of Grand Lodge officers.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, it is a special pleasure to welcome you and your delegation to our Grand Installation ceremonies. You have travelled a long way. I'm sure you have other ideas in mind on this trip apart from us. But we are delighted that you have chosen to join us on this special occasion, and I give a very warm welcome to you all.
Thank you, Most Worshipful Grand Master. I thank you for your kind invitation. And of course, I hope to see you back in Denmark someday. Thank you.
Thank you. Straight across and take a seat. Straight across and take a seat. Just straight across and take a seat. Whichever, wherever. Okay. Just sit behind. Most Worshipful Grand Master, I present to you Right Worshipful Brother Robert Gilchrist Law, the Honorary Senior Grand Warden of the Grand Lodge of Scotland.
Right Worshipful Brother Law, it is again a pleasure to see you in our jurisdiction. We know your son has been very much involved with our Grand Lodge, for which we are grateful, and we're delighted to see you here, all the way from South Africa, to be part of our show and indeed representing the Grand Lodge of Scotland. Thank you for coming. I hope you enjoy yourself.
Thank you, Most Worshipful Grand Master Mason. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be here, sir.
Thank you.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, now entering this Grand Lodge on my right is the United Grand Lodge of Queensland, and on my left, the Grand Lodge of Western Australia.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, I present to you Most Worshipful Brother Dr. Gary John Bacon, Most Worshipful Grand Master of the United Grand Lodge of Queensland. He is accompanied by Right Worshipful Brother Alan Morris Townsend, Deputy Grand Master, and a retinue of Grand Lodge officers.
Most Worshipful Brother Gary Bacon, what a delight to have you and your wonderful delegation with us. We are delighted that you've come in such numbers, and we are surely expecting at some stage on this trip that you are going to talk about trees. We know you do it persistently. But welcome to you all, and I hope you have an enjoyable stay with us.
Grandmaster, I bring tropical best wishes to you and your team from the lodges of Queensland and Papua New Guinea. We congratulate you on your term of office, and we bid best wishes to your successor. We are very pleased indeed to be reacquainted with a Mediterranean climate, cool breezes and a bit of drift in the air, but it won't make your trees grow any faster than ours.
Thank you, Grandmaster.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, I present to you Most Worshipful Brother Stephen Adrian Jansek, Most Worshipful Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of West Australia. He is accompanied by Right Worshipful Brother William Gordon Bay, Deputy Grand Master, and a retinue of Grand Lodge officers.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, welcome to you and your wonderful delegation. It rivals the other one in the room, but we are delighted that you are here and are supporting us in the numbers that you are. And we look forward to further enjoying your company, and I trust that you will have a most enjoyable time and stay with us.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, thank you very much as always for your very friendly and warm welcome to myself and the delegation from Western Australia. There's no doubt we will enjoy ourselves, and although we bring nothing else except support for the rest of the country, why the fair share of GST.
Thank you very much, Grandmaster. Thank you. Thank you, Grandmaster.
Thank you.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, now entering this Grand Lodge on my right is another overseas lodge, the Grand Lodge of Tasmania, and on my left, another overseas lodge, the Grand Lodge of New Zealand.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, I present to you Most Worshipful Brother Alan James Sangwell. Most Worshipful Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Tasmania. He is accompanied by Right Worshipful Brother John William Slaw, Deputy Grand Master, and a retinue of Grand Lodge officers.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, for one of our smaller states with probably a smaller membership than others, you have a wonderful delegation with you, and we are grateful to you for your company and for your members who have decided to join you in this trip. Thank you for coming. We hope that you enjoy the ceremony and the events which follow.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, thank you most sincerely for your gracious welcome. I bring you greetings from the Apple Isle, the closest overseas lodge, Grand Lodge, to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, I present to you Most Worshipful Brother John West Lytton, Most Worshipful Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of New Zealand. He is accompanied by Right Worshipful Brother Mark Roland Winger, Deputy Grand Master, and a retinue of Grand Lodge officers.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, we've always had very close links, all of the Australian states, Grand Lodges, with New Zealand. We always welcome you very warmly to our assemblies, and this is no exception. We are delighted to see you and your delegation here, and we certainly trust, as with the others, that you will have an enjoyable and fruitful stay with us.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, we're delighted to be with you. Your welcome is always very gracious and warm, and I thank you most sincerely for that, and all your brethren. And can I also congratulate you on your term of office and wish every success to your successor. Most Worshipful Grand Master, of course, the New Zealand dollar is now on a par with Australia. I'm not sure whether you arranged that, but the problem is that our wives are spending too much money.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, now entering this Grand Lodge on my right is the United Grand Lodge of Victoria, and on my left, the United Grand Lodge of New South Wales and the Australian Capital Territory.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, I present to you Most Worshipful Brother Hillel Benedict, Most Worshipful Grand Master of the United Grand Lodge of Victoria. He is accompanied by a retinue of Grand Lodge officers.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, I missed you recently in your own jurisdiction, and I thank you for your courtesies of approving my visit there. But we are delighted to see you here, certainly you and your wonderful delegation, and we look forward to further enjoying your company, and I sincerely trust that you will enjoy the ceremony today.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, it's a pleasure for me to be accompanied by what I think is the largest delegation at this grand installation. I'm very proud of the Victorians that have come to support me today. And it's been a great honour working with you over this last period of time. The last time we met in Renmark for that joint meeting, it was also pouring rain very heavily. So I'm not sure what that has to do with, but we will enjoy ourselves. I congratulate you and Sonia on what you've contributed to Freemasonry in South Australia and the Northern Territory, and I thank you very much for your welcome.
Thank you, Grand Master.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, I present to you Most Worshipful Brother Derek James Robson, Member of the Order of Australia, Most Worshipful Grand Master of the United Grand Lodge of New South Wales and the Australian Capital Territory. He is accompanied by Right Worshipful Brother James Robert Melville, Deputy Grand Master, and a retinue of Grand Lodge officers.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, we have seen quite a bit of each other during our terms of office because, of course, you extended yours by 1 year. And we are delighted that you are here, and your delegation rivals the Victorian one, I would suggest, and I wouldn't be at all surprised if you sort of suggested that it was a bit bigger. But we are delighted to see you, and I hope you and your team enjoy the ceremony.
Thank you, Grand Master Bob. It's been a pleasure to have known you and Sonia, of course, and to watch what you've done here in this jurisdiction and what the great example that you've given to all of us. It is indeed my honour to be here leading such a quality and dedicated, committed band of brothers. And we're here to support you, to recognise the great work done by yourself personally, to recognise the work of your team, but as importantly, to support this wonderful jurisdiction. Thank you most sincerely.
Thank you.
Ladies, gentlemen, brethren, please be upstanding. Most worshipful brethren, on behalf of all those assembled, I acknowledge your presence and your rank as leaders of your respective delegations. And I invite you, ladies, gentlemen, brethren, to acknowledge their presence with acclamation. Ladies, gentlemen, brethren, please remain standing during the entry of the Australian flag and the singing of the national anthem. Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, please be seated.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, our Grand Master for the ensuing year has been elected in the person of Right Worshipful Brother Stephen Eugene Paul Michalak, and we are here today for the ceremony of installation. Very Worshipful Brother Grand Director of Ceremonies. You will announce to the Grand Master-elect that this Grand Lodge is open and we are waiting to receive him.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, the Grand Master-elect is waiting in readiness to be installed when it is your pleasure to receive him.
Very Worshipful Brother Grand Director of Ceremonies. Then you will cause him to be escorted within the portals of this Grand Lodge and conducted to the west for the purpose of presentation.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, I present to you Right Worshipful Brother Stephen Eugene Paul Michaelak, who has been duly elected Grand Master for the Grand Lodge of Ancient, Free and Accepted Masons of South Australia and the Northern Territory for the ensuing year.
Very Worshipful Brother Grand Director of Ceremonies, your presentation shall be attended to. Brethren of this Grand Lodge, I congratulate you on the election of our Grand Master, as it will be his duty to command according to our statutes, so it will be ours with readiness to obey. The cares of his exalted station are manifold, the obligations thereof numerous and exceedingly weighty, and its perplexities are not few. That these may all be well sustained and his administration be such as will honour himself and be valuable to the craft in South Australia and the Northern Territory, he needs and surely he will receive your affection, sympathy and active cooperation in all his lawful official endeavours. Right Worshipful Brother Stephen Eugene Paul Michaelak, the exalted station to which you have been called by the free choice of your brethren involves great and solemn responsibilities. It will elevate you to a position from which the power and prerogative may depart with the expiration of your term of office, but the honour and dignity, save by your own act, never. You are now in the presence of all here assembled, presented for installation into the chair of this Grand Lodge, that you may be competent to enter upon the functions entrusted to you. As we now stand on the threshold of a solemn undertaking, the teachings inculcated at our reception into Freemasonry require that we should bend in prayer before the Grand Master above and seek his blessing on these our proceedings.
Ladies, gentlemen, brethren, please be upstanding.
Almighty Architect of the universe, we pray that you will bless us in all the purposes of our present assembly. We humbly invoke thee to give us wisdom in all our doings, strength of mind under all our difficulties, and the beauty of love and harmony in all our communications. Be pleased to vouchsafe to this thy servant, now called to the high office in our brotherhood, thy heavenly blessing. May he prove a true and faithful guardian of the principles, privileges and usages of the order, and through thy favour be strengthened in the discharge of those duties to the honour and glory of thy holy name.
Very Worshipful Brother Grand Director of Ceremonies, you'll conduct our brother to the volume of the sacred law to take upon himself the obligation appertaining to the duties of his high office.
I, Stephen Eugene Paul Michaelak, in the presence of Almighty God and in the body of this Grand Lodge, do solemnly promise and swear that, to the best of my ability, I will faithfully, zealously and impartially perform the duties of Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Ancient, Free and Accepted Masons of South Australia and the Northern Territory during the ensuing year and until a successor shall have been regularly elected and installed in my stead. I further solemnly promise that I will conform to and maintain the Constitution and regulations of this Grand Lodge and the usages and customs of free and accepted Masons, and will at all times enforce strict obedience thereto. So help me God.
Rise, duly obligated, most worshipful Grand Master.
Ladies, gentlemen, and brethren, please be seated.
Most worshipful Grand Master, it now remains for me to clothe you and invest you with the external insignia of your rank and authority. I now with great pleasure clothe you with this apron, the badge of a Grand Master. And I invest you with the chain of your office. With a jewel thereto attached, whose symbolic meaning will now have a new and greater significance to you. I entrust you with the W.B. Allen Collarette Jewel, which is to be worn by the Grand Master on all official occasions. Hang on, Brenton, don't shake him. I now surrender in your favour the seat of authority and place you therein as the ruler of this Grand Lodge. And may the blessing of God Almighty be with you and endue you with wisdom, strength and understanding. I now present to you this gavel as the potent emblem of Masonic authority, and by this which I do on their behalf, the brethren pledge you their assurance that in your hands it will never be sounded in vain. Permit me to render this first act of homage due to you as Grand Master. I now hail, salute and proclaim you Grand Master of Masons within the jurisdiction of the Grand Lodge of South Australia and the Northern Territory. Brethren, behold your Grand Master. Most worshipful Grand Master, behold your brethren.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated. Brethren, you'll be upstanding for the proclamation. Brethren, be it known unto you and to all free and accepted Masons that Most Worshipful Brother Stephen Eugene Paul Michaelak has been regularly installed as Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Ancient Free and Accepted Masons of South Australia and the Northern Territory, whom may the great Architect of the universe long preserve. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the oath. Ladies, gentlemen, brethren, please be seated. The Most Worshipful Installing Grand Master will now address the Most Worshipful Grand Master.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, on behalf of all your brethren and myself, I offer our fraternal congratulations and our loyalty to you on your attainment of the high office of your exalted rank. The office of Grand Master is one of great antiquity and honour. It is no light matter to be endowed with the chief command in this ancient and honourable institution which stands deep-rooted in the past, with its branches extending to every quarter of the inhabited globe. Most worshipful Grand Master, you cannot therefore be insensible to the obligations which devolve upon you as its head, or to your responsibility for the faithful discharge of the duties annexed to the position. The honour, reputation and usefulness of this ancient and honourable institution will materially depend upon the skill and assiduity with which you govern its affairs, whilst the happiness of its members will be generally promoted in proportion to the zeal and ability with which you promulgate its principles and tenets. As a pattern for imitation, consider that glorious luminary of nature, the sun, which rising in the east regularly diffuses light and lustre on all within its circle. In like manner, most worshipful Grand Master, it is your peculiar province to communicate light and instruction to your brethren. Forcibly impress upon them the dignity and high importance of Freemasonry. Seriously admonish them never to disgrace it. Charge them to practice in our community by example and precept the principles and tenets they have been taught within, and to prove to the world by virtuous, amiable and discreet conduct the happy and beneficial effects of our ancient and honourable institution. Then when anyone is said to be a member of our order, the world will know that he is one to whom the burdened heart may pour forth its sorrows, to whom the distressed may prefer their suit, one whose hand is guided by justice and whose heart is expanded by benevolence. In fine, most worshipful Grand Master, by strict adherence to the landmarks and the constitution of our order, but above all by the use of the sacred writings which are given as a rule and guide of your faith, you will be enabled to gain a crown of joy and rejoicing which shall continue when time with you shall be no more. And may God grant you his choicest gifts of health, happiness, wisdom and strength to discharge the duties of your high office with satisfaction to yourself and advantage to Freemasonry in South Australia and the Northern Territory. And when the time shall come, as come it must, for you to cease labour and go to rest, may you continue to reign sovereign in the hearts and minds of your brethren.
Our distinguished guest, ladies, gentlemen, brethren. In 1956, an American composer named Leonard Bernstein teamed up with a young American lyricist called Stephen Sondheim. And the object of their collaboration was to produce a new Broadway musical, one that would become a landmark in American musical theatre. The musical itself was based on, of all things, Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. One of Bernstein's primary objectives, it was his vision, this particular musical, was to use the lyrics of the particular musical to convey a heightened sense of meaning between the two teenage star-crossed lovers on stage and each and every member of the adult audience. He wanted each member of the audience to be able to travel back in time from the present to when they were teenagers and the first significant love they ever had. Bernstein's understanding of the human condition was a simple one. We always remember our first love, whether those memories are happy or painful ones. To achieve this, he challenged Sondheim to do something that he said had never been done in American musical theatre, in his opinion. He had never known an American lyricist to write a love song without using the word love. Bernstein believed that if Sondheim could achieve this one objective, he would have channeled all his creative energies into a pinpoint focus to be able to express the degrees of warmth and insecurity, tenderness and jealousy, all of those things which are a hallmark of teenage romantic love. Sondheim was excited at the prospect of achieving this objective, and he went away, returning 2 weeks later, protesting angrily that it couldn't be done. You cannot write a love song without using the word love. He spat those words viciously at Bernstein and accused him of setting him up for a humiliating failure. Bernstein sat him down. He spoke to him. He asked him questions. He got Sondheim to open up. And he took that opportunity to look inside the man and get to understand the man better who was writing his lyrics. And at that point, he gave him some advice which arguably changed the course of American musical theatre forever with respect to the writing of love songs. He said to him, "Stephen, when we first got together, I thought we agreed on an objective, that you would find a way to make an emotional connection between the actors on stage and the members of the audience. You appear to have given yourself a different objective, namely to write clever lyrics, and you're failing miserably at it. What I suggest you do is this: go home, relax, close your eyes, think back on all those countless romantic love thingies you've been through in your short 27 years of life, and find for you, in your experience, the common denominator that links all of them. There may be a few. Select one and write about that. And I promise you, if you write about that, the rest of the words will drip from the nib of your fountain pen onto the pages of your exercise book without too much effort." Sondheim returned 3 days later with the completed lyrics to the knockout love song from West Side Story, a song called Maria. We've all heard the song. I think I'm on safe territory in suggesting that until just a few moments ago, few here would have recognised that the word love, very cleverly, never appears in the song, not once. What Sondheim discovered following Bernstein's advice was that every time he had fallen in love with someone, that person's name kept going over and over through his head. And sometimes he would stop, say the word, say the name, just to pick up on its rich chemistry. And so, in the 2 minutes and 12 seconds that the song Maria lasts for on the original soundtrack album, the name is sung 27 times and spoken twice, a total of 29 times. I've done the math for you. That's once, on average, every 4.75 seconds, which didn't leave Sondheim with too much time to fool around with too many other clever lyrics. Problems or challenges that face us at every stage of our lives often seem insurmountable because our minds make the problems so detailed and so highly complex. But most commonly, the answer presents itself, as it did for Sondheim, as a remarkably simple, uncomplicated one. Having broken through the barrier of writing his first love song without using the word love, he then populated West Side Story with 3 other love songs, each achieving the same objective. The songs are Somewhere, One Hand, One Heart, and Tonight, the first time it's sung as the famous balcony scene. The challenge that faces our order in the 21st century in South Australia and the Northern Territory is one that is shared worldwide. The challenge is how to attract, retain, and develop our members so that the gifts that membership brings to each brother becomes a magnet that attracts others. It's a complex problem, waiting for a simple solution. Possibly, we are on the right path, on the cusp of finding that simple solution. How do we express what our order does and the benefits that it brings? I've tried to express it in what marketing people call an elevator conversation, meaning something you can condense with meaning and depth in about 30 seconds. I've not been successful at doing it, probably because, like Sondheim, I was focused on the wrong end of the problem. The answer to that for me now is simple. It's not about what our order does, and it's not about what I do. It's about what I feel. In our order, I feel as though I belong. I feel included. The words of our ritual beautifully capture the essence of brotherhood, of acting in ways that are generous, selfless, loving, because we feel accepted as individuals. Our order in South Australia and the Northern Territory is currently undergoing an internal transformation that I think may be part of that simple solution to our complex problem. At its core, the transformation is all about finding ways to meaningfully translate the words of our beautiful ritual out of the lodge room and into our community. One of the most profound and lasting achievements of the immediate past Grand Master's tenure was his single-minded determination to complete an exacting self-analysis of our organisation and invite our members to offer feedback through lodge and district meetings regarding what we do well and what we do not so well. One of the most significant finds was that, as an order, if we want to retain and develop members, we need to provide them with greater meaning, beginning with education and then helping members to develop not only as Freemasons, but as men. The feedback also pointed to the emergence of a consciousness that our order is attractive to men who want something more in their lives than the pleasures of materialism alone. There is an aching in these men to belong to and contribute to an organisation that encourages them to develop their skills and enrich their lives while connecting with others. But there's one thing more. Part of that aching is a belief that there is something with a capital S, some source with a capital S, that is beyond the dimension of our physical world and with whom we believe we have an intimate relationship. As an example of this emerging trend, Udunda Lodge, a lodge whose membership is mainly comprised of young professional businessmen in their 20s, 30s and 40s, offers weekly assistance to the homeless of Adelaide through a joint initiative with the Hutt Street Centre. While I'm not a member of their lodge, it is something that I'm proud to do with them. What we do is not glamorous in any way. What we do is wash and dry the clothes of men and women who emerge from the parklands of Adelaide, having slept in the open, either in the cold or under the warmth of a blanket of wet, rotting leaves. There is no way to sugarcoat the fact that it is emotionally confronting for anyone starting there as a volunteer. Questions like, what am I going to say to these people? What have I got in common with them? First come to mind. After a while, thinking through these questions, you begin to understand that the situation is possibly even more complex than what you originally believed. But when the very simple answer comes, and the answer is everything, you find it easy to talk with them, kid around with them, listen to their life stories, and find yourself becoming internally transformed as a human being. The experience is ennobling. The ironic thing is it's ennobling not because of what we do, but because of what we feel in breaking down our own internal resistance to a lifestyle that's so very foreign to what we are accustomed to. We emerge feeling that there is no distance between us as brothers and sisters, and more importantly, as human beings. And all this internal magic happens while we are doing nothing more common than washing and drying clothes. In closing, I think it's important to emphasise that this is all well and good, but the teachings of our order are very clear. They are very direct. The first duty we owe is to our God, by whatever name we call him or whatever faith we profess. Then to our wives or partners, our children and their everyday concerns and happinesses. And then to our work, our career. By extension, our obligation ensures that we give our best to our employers, our work colleagues, our customers or clients, give them the very best that we can offer them in terms of our time and the application of our knowledge. I will express my thanks at the appropriate time in the ceremony this afternoon and this evening, but at this point I extend to each and every one of us now my very warmest and sincerest hope that we will all live satisfying lives bound to each other and always conscious of the shadow of our God touching our lives every moment of every day. Pursuant to the power vested in me, I appoint Very Worshipful Brother Victor John Daminato to hold the office of Deputy Grand Master during the ensuing year and until a successor shall have been appointed in his stead. Very Worshipful Brother Grand Director of Ceremonies. You will present the Deputy Grand Master for installation.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, I present to you Very Worshipful Brother Victor John Daminato for installation as Deputy Grand Master.
Very Worshipful Brother Grand Director of Ceremonies, you will conduct our brother to the volume of the sacred law to take upon himself the obligation appertaining to the duties of his office.
Ladies, gentlemen, brethren, please be upstanding.
I, Victor John Daminato, in the presence of Almighty God and in the body of this Grand Lodge, do agree to accept the office of Deputy Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Ancient Free and Accepted Masons of South Australia and the Northern Territory, and pledge myself to discharge faithfully, zealously and impartially the duties of that office during the ensuing year, and until a successor shall have been duly appointed and installed in my stead. So help me God.
Rise, duly obligated Deputy Grand Master.
Ladies, gentlemen, brethren, please be seated. One step back. Started a bit early.
Right Worshipful Brother Deputy Grand Master, you have been an attentive observer of the ceremony of the installation of the Grand Master, for you are aware that in the case of his incapacity to act, you succeed to the duties and prerogatives, as you do also in acting as his substitute in all matters specially delegated to you. Your office, therefore, is one of great dignity and importance, and it is in view of these considerations that you have been appointed as Deputy Grand Master. I now, with pleasure, clothe you with this apron, the badge of the Deputy Grand Master. And I invest you with the chain and jewel of your office. I entrust you with this collarette jewel, which is to be worn by the Deputy Grand Master on all official occasions. I now proclaim you Deputy Grand Master and place you in your chair at the right of the Grand Master. Pursuant to the power vested in me, I appoint Right Worshipful Brother David Malcolm Booker to hold the office of Assistant Grand Master during the ensuing year. Very Worshipful Brother Grand Director of Ceremonies. You will conduct the Assistant Grand Master for an installation.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, I present Right Worshipful Brother David Malcolm Booker for installation as Assistant Grand Master.
Very Worshipful Brother Grand Director of Ceremonies, you will conduct our brother to the volume of the sacred law to take upon himself the obligation appertaining to the duties of his office.
Ladies, gentlemen, brethren, please be upstanding.
I, David Malcolm Booker, in the presence of Almighty God and in the body of this Grand Lodge, do agree to accept the office of Assistant Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Ancient, Free and Accepted Masons of South Australia and the Northern Territory, and pledge myself to discharge faithfully, zealously and impartially the duties of that office during the ensuing year, so help me God.
Rise, duly obligated Assistant Grand Master.
Ladies, gentlemen, brethren, please be seated.
Right Worshipful Brother Assistant Grand Master, in the absence of the Grand Master and the Deputy Grand Master, you would succeed to their duties and prerogatives, and it would be your responsibility to act in their stead. Your office, therefore, is one of great importance, and I feel sure that you possess the necessary qualifications to discharge your important duties with distinction. I now, with pleasure, clothe you with this apron, the badge of the Assistant Grand Master. I invest you with the chain and jewel of your office. I now, with pleasure, proclaim you Assistant Grand Master and place you in your chair at the right of the Deputy Grand Master.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated. Brethren below the rank of Most Worshipful will be upstanding for the proclamation. Brethren, be it known unto you and to all free and accepted Masons that Right Worshipful Brother Victor John Daminato has been duly invested as Senior Grand Warden, and Right Worshipful Brother David Malcolm Booker as Junior Grand Warden, who may the great Architect of the universe long preserve. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the oath. Ladies, gentlemen, brethren, please be seated.
Pursuant to the power vested in me, I appoint Very Worshipful Brother Dr. Neil Jensen and Very Worshipful Brother Clifford Ross Olds to be Senior Grand Warden and Junior Grand Warden for the ensuing year. Very Worshipful Brother Grand Director of Ceremonies, you will present the Grand Wardens for investiture.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, I present to you Right Worshipful Brother Dr. Neil Jensen to be invested as Senior Grand Warden and Right Worshipful Brother Clifford Ross Olds as Junior Grand Warden respectively for the ensuing year.
Right Worshipful Brother Wardens, Grand Wardens, you have been appointed to positions of great importance to aid in the preservation of order and to afford counsel and support to the Grand Master are important and responsible duties. When to these is added your task of diligently preserving the ancient landmarks of the order, your trust becomes a matter of the utmost consequence to the welfare of the craft. Right Worshipful Brother Dr. Jensen, as Senior Grand Warden, you represent Yarkon. And I now with pleasure clothe you with this apron, the badge of the Senior Grand Warden. I invest you with the chain and jewel of your office. Right Worshipful Brother Olds, as Junior Grand Warden, you represent Boaz, and I now, with pleasure, clothe you with this apron, the badge of the Junior Grand Warden. I invest you with the chain and jewel of your office.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated. All brethren below the rank of past Assistant Grand Master will be upstanding for the proclamation. Brethren, I now proclaim that Right Worshipful Brother Dr. Neil Jensen and Right Worshipful Brother Clifford Ross Olds have been invested as Grand Wardens of the Grand Lodge of Ancient, Free and Accepted Masons of South Australia and the Northern Territory for the ensuing year. Brethren, please be seated.
Very Worshipful Brother Grand Secretary, would you please read out the names of those brethren who have been appointed to Grand Office for the ensuing year?
Most certainly, Grand Master. To be Grand Chaplain, Very Worshipful Brother Brenton Dolby, OAM. To be President of the Board of Management, Right Worshipful Brother M.C. Sayer. To be Chairman of the Freemasons Foundation, Very Worshipful Brother D. Sarah AM. To be Chairman of the Masonic Homes Limited, Brother Mark Butcher. To be Grand Treasurer, Right Worshipful Brother T.A. Cavender. To be Grand Register, Right Worshipful Brother V.J. Daminato. To be Chief Executive Officer, Right Worshipful Brother P.J. Simons. To be Grand Secretary, Very Worshipful Brother N. McBrearty. To be Grand Superintendent, Right Worshipful Brother J.D. Talby. To be Chairman of Membership, Very Worshipful Brother B.A. Leach. Director of Community Relations, Right Worshipful Brother G. Law. To be Director of Masonic Learning, Very Worshipful Brother M.G. Truman, APM. To be Grand Director of Ceremonies, Very Worshipful Brother D. Priori. To be Grand Superintendent of Works, Very Worshipful Brother G.C. Earnshaw. To be Chairman of Care, Very Worshipful Brother T.K.M. Halford. Deputy Grand Treasurer, Brother H.N. Handley. Deputy Grand Register, Right Worshipful Brother A.S. Narayan. To be Deputy Grand Director of Ceremonies, Very Worshipful Brother W.M. Hancock. The following are the District Grand Superintendents. Western, Very Worshipful Brother K. Painter. South East, Very Worshipful Brother G.S. Hutchins. Southern, Very Worshipful Brother W.R.D. Merrill. York Northern, Very Worshipful Brother P. Cam. Mid-North Riverland, Very Worshipful Brother D.H. Barrett. Northern Territory Top End, Very Worshipful Brother N.F. McHattie. Northern Territory Central, Very Worshipful Brother L.J. Pilton. Metropolitan Central, Very Worshipful Brother B.T. Roberts. Metropolitan North, Very Worshipful Brother K. Perrott. Metropolitan South, Very Worshipful Brother M. Morrison. Metropolitan East, Very Worshipful Brother A.E. Weeks. Metropolitan North West, Very Worshipful Brother I. Mackenzie. Metropolitan South East, Very Worshipful Brother T. Hartfield. And Metropolitan South West, Very Worshipful Brother K.H. Jones. To be Assistant Grand Director of Ceremonies, Worshipful Brother P.A. Holland. To be Grand Librarian, Brother P.D. Paul. To be Senior Grand Deacons, Worshipful Brothers J. Greenfield and D. Jones. To be Senior Grand Deacons, Worshipful Brothers T. Clem and W.A. Barron. To be Grand Sword Bearers, Worshipful Brother B.K. Lorraine and T.C. Rao. To be Grand Sword Bearer for the Northern Territory, Worshipful Brother R.K. Barnes. To be Grand Standard Bearers, Worshipful Brothers J.B. Ashington, R.V. Mack, P.E. Walker. To be Grand Director of Music, Worshipful Brother M.F. Potter, OAM. to be Grand Organist, Brother G. Lewis. Grand Pursuant, Worshipful Brother M.C. Bull, Worshipful Brother P. Brockbank, and Worshipful Brother J. L. Bates. And Grand Tyler, Worshipful Brother J. A. Dusseldorf, and Worshipful Brother A. Mott.
Very Worshipful Brother, Grand Director of Ceremonies. You will present these Grand Officers for investiture.
The Grand Officers to be invested will assemble in the east.
Worshipful and very worshipful brethren, most of you have been appointed to positions of leadership within our order. The continued success of our order will materially depend upon the way in which you execute those particular roles. I offer you my congratulations. I trust this year will be a personally satisfying one for you. I expect you to carry out the duties of your office to the best of your ability. Very worshipful Brother Grand Secretary, would you please read out the names of those brethren who have been appointed or elected to Grand Steward for the ensuing year?
With absolute pleasure, Most Worshipful Grand Master. From the Lodge of Friendship, number 1, and these are all, of course, Worshipful Brother D.S. Wainwright and N.C.J. Martin. From Lodge St John, number 15, R. Beer. From St Andrew's Lodge, number 19, R.J. Edwards. The Victoria Lodge, number 26, G.S. Hunt. Holdfast Lodge, number 30, P.J. O'Dare. From Semaphore Lodge, number 33, D.J. Stroud and S.D. Redfern. The Port Darwin Lodge, number 41, A.N. Hay. Prince Alfred Collegians Lodge, number 51, J.E. Varco. The Hope and Lewis Lodge, number 75, G.R.L. Knight. Enfield Lodge, number 145, D.W.J. Hemsworth. Alice Springs Lodge, number 156, S.S. Gear and P. Fink. Kingston Lodge, number 161, I.D. Kobiak. The Perfect Cube Lodge, number 201, J.H. Mosley. And Catherine Lodge of Fidelity, number 217, C.G. Fagan. And Lodge Baden Power, number 222, B.J. Knott.
Very worshipful Brother Grand, Director of Ceremonies. You'll present these officers for investiture.
The Grand Stewards to be invested will assemble in the east.
worshipful Grand Stewards. Most of you have been nominated by your lodge. The others I have appointed. You come from various parts of South Australia and the Northern Territory. I look to you for support and assistance, and I expect you to carry out the duties of your office to the best of your ability.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, please be upstanding for the oath. Ladies, gentlemen, brethren, please be seated. Brother Andrew Edwards will now address the gathering.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, by the nature of the constitution of Freemasonry, some must rule and teach, while others learn to serve. Humility by all is an essential qualification. Those assisting the Grand Master in governing the activities of lodges in South Australia and the Northern Territory are all acquainted with the principles of Freemasonry and the laws of the institution. Consequently, it is considered that they will not be found wanting in the discharge of their respective duties, or that they would exceed the power entrusted to them. And I am sure that we will not be envious of their position. I therefore trust that we shall have three specific aims clearly in mind. First, to please each other. Second, to unite in a grand design of being happy and communicating happiness. And thirdly, as this association has for centuries been formed and perfected within a climate of harmony and concord, long may it continue. May brotherly love and affection ever distinguish us as men and as Freemasons. May the principles of our craft, which are founded on the basis of established truths and virtues, teach us to act uprightly, to square our conduct by the principles of morality, and to guide our thoughts within the compass of propriety. Thus we learn to be humble and dutiful, to be steadfast in our faithfulness to God, our country and our laws, to be sympathetic to the failings of a brother and active in consoling the afflicted and appeasing the wants of those in unfortunate circumstances. May these principles be transmitted untarnished through this and all succeeding generations.
Ladies, gentlemen, brethren, please be upstanding for the Royal Anthem. Ladies, gentlemen, brethren, please be seated. The Most Worshipful Grand Master will now address the Worshipful Masters, current Worshipful Masters of lodges within this jurisdiction. Would all current Masters please be upstanding?
Worshipful Masters, I acknowledge you as the leaders of your lodges working for our own communities. I know the amount of work that's involved in being a Worshipful Master, and I give you my absolute congratulations for the role that you continue to carry out within your lodges and our communities. I will look to you for support and assistance, and in return I will give you my support and assistance so that we can further the benefits that our order can give to those members in our society. Worshipful Masters, thank you very much for coming here this evening and representing your lodges. And I'll look forward for those of you who can be at the Grand Banquet to meet with you and meet with your partners as well. Worshipful Masters, thank you.
Worshipful brethren, please be seated. Most Worshipful Brother Tucker, representative of the Lodge of New Zealand, will now bring greetings on behalf of all sister jurisdictions. Would all representatives of sister jurisdictions please be upstanding?
Most Worshipful Grand Master, on behalf of all sister jurisdictions, many of whom are represented by those standing with me, I bring you fraternal greetings, the best of good wishes, and of course congratulations on being installed as Grand Master of this Grand Lodge. Those best wishes and congratulations, Grand Master, are also conveyed to your Deputy Grand Master, Right Worshipful Brother Dominato, your Assistant Grand Master, Right Worshipful Brother Booker, to your Grand Wardens, to your officers, and to your stewards who have been invested this afternoon. You have assembled a very impressive team, Grand Master, and I'm sure that they, during their period of office, will give you every support they possibly can. Grand Master, I cannot let this opportunity go by without recognising the contribution given to this Grand Lodge by your immediate predecessor, Most Worshipful Brother Bob Parsons. He has been an outstanding ambassador for Freemasonry within this jurisdiction, the wider parts of Australasia, and indeed overseas. We believe he has visited probably almost every lodge in this jurisdiction during his period of Grand Master, if not all of them. And his ability to communicate, to reward merit, and to keep the brethren informed are highlights of his Grand Mastership. During his office, he has been supported in a huge way by his wife Sonia, and we acknowledge that support that has been given to him and wish them both well in his retirement. Grand Master would also like to acknowledge the contribution made by your Grand Secretary, Most Right Worshipful Brother Max Atkinson, who is retiring again after many years of service to this Grand Lodge. Grand Master, you too have been most active in this organisation. Your years as Grand Lecturer have left an indelible imprint on this Grand Lodge. They have epitomised your ability for detailed planning, magnificent, innovative presentation, sound decision-making, and a willingness to serve the fraternity. Similarly, your 3 years as Deputy Grand Master have been well spent in preparing you for this high office. You have indeed been fortunate to have been Deputy to a Grand Master who has involved you in all matters relating to the future of this Grand Lodge, and to share with you the responsibilities of a Grand Master. Grand Master, overnight you've become somewhat of a media personality, as evidenced by the television clip on Channel 7 last night and by the article in the Advertiser this morning. And they, in a small way, have given you a chance to espouse your philosophy on Freemasonry, to indicate the activities of this organisation within the community, and to indicate how you believe every Freemason should act in this society today. Grand Master, no doubt in the near future, you will reflect on the address given to you by your predecessor. Likewise, you may remember the quotation used by the then Grand Master in his February newsletter, and I quote, "We cannot solve our current problems with the same thinking we used to create them. We trust that you will consider this as you face the responsibilities and perplexities that will confront you during your term of office. Grand Master, you can be assured of the support of your sister jurisdictions. We again congratulate you and wish you well, of leader of this Grand Lodge of South Australia and the Northern Territory." Thank you, brethren.
Most worshipful past Grand Master, thank you very much for the address that you made on behalf of all our representatives here in this assembly. I will be looking forward to continuing to work with you, with the past Grand Masters, with each of the worshipful masters assembled here, and even those who haven't been able to come here this evening. The job that we have moving forward within the next few years is a very important one. It is important for us to maintain a sense of clear communication, not only between ourselves within this order, within this state, but similarly between the same orders in other states, in other jurisdictions throughout the world. Only by doing that can we give some sort of guarantee that we have a chance of promoting the benefits that our order actually can give to everyone. Most worshipful past Grand Master, for me it's been an absolute honour to have you personally present this particular address. From the very time I first came into the order, you were the presiding Grand Master. When I was an entered apprentice, you stopped, spoke to me, encouraged me. I've always remembered it. This is a time I can say thank you back to you. Thank you, most worshipful past Grand Master.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, please remain seated during the ceremony of closing of this Grand Lodge.
Right Worshipful Grand Wardens, please rise and assist me to close this Grand Lodge. Worshipful Brother Grant Bersweevant. Where is your position in Grand Lodge?
In the inner court of Grand Lodge, Most Worshipful Grand Master.
What is your duty?
To give due report of all approaching brethren, to see that they are properly clothed and ranged under their respective banners, Most Worshipful Grand Master.
Do you find them so placed?
To the best of my knowledge, Most Worshipful Grand Master.
Where is the situation of the Right Worshipful Junior Grand Warden?
In the south, Most Worshipful Grand Master.
Right Worshipful Brother Junior Grand Warden. Whom do you represent?
Boaz, the Prince of the People on Mount Tabor, Most Worshipful Grand Master.
Where is the situation of the Right Worshipful Senior Grand Warden?
In the west, Most Worshipful Grand Master.
Right Worshipful Brother Senior Grand Warden, whom do you represent?
Yakin, the Assistant High Priest on Mount Sinai, Most Worshipful Grand Master.
Where is the situation of the Right Worshipful Deputy Grand Master?
The right of the Most Worshipful Grand Master.
Right Worshipful Brother Deputy Grand Master, whom do you represent?
Hiram Abiff, the Prince of Architects.
What is your duty?
To lay schemes, draw designs, and assist the Most Worshipful Grand Master in the execution of the work.
Where is the situation of the Most Worshipful Grand Master?
In the east,
whom does he represent?
the Royal Solomon.
Then, brethren, after the Grand Chaplain has invoked the blessing of the great Architect of the universe, I shall, in the name of the Royal Solomon, declare this Grand Lodge closed in ample form.
All thanks and praise be to the great Architect of the universe for all thy gifts freely bestowed on us. We ask you to pour your blessing upon our new Grand Master and all those who are assuming responsibilities in this Grand Lodge. May they be reminded of the high concepts of Freemasonry, and in doing so, may they be guided by your love and strength to be equal to the tasks that lie ahead of them. Be also with their families as they support these new officers. May we all be open to your guidance, and as we go our respective ways, we ask your blessing upon us and give you thanks for the principles of Freemasonry which bind us together in fellowship, in brotherly love, and in service.
Brethren, in the name of the Royal Solomon, I declare this Grand Lodge closed in ample form.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, please be upstanding for the oath. Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, during the retirement of the Most Worshipful Grand Master, the Right Worshipful Deputy Grand Master, the Right Worshipful Assistant Grand Master, the Most Worshipful Installing Grand Master, past Grand Masters, visiting Grand Masters of delegations, and according to the Brother Acting Chaplain and the Right Worshipful Brother Wardens, you remain upstanding. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm on the wrong side of you, mate.
It doesn't matter, we don't go anywhere, we stay here. Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, this now completes the ceremony of installation this afternoon. You are now invited to attend pre-banquet drinks, which will be held in the foyer. For those who are attending the banquet, you're asked to be seated by 6:45. The banquet will start at 7. May I ask you, please, to show your appreciation for our heralds and our choir. I thank you one and all for your attendance, and I hope that you've enjoyed this afternoon's ceremony. Thank you very much.